Hello and welcome to another edition of Only in Illinois, your weekly video recap from Reboot Illinois. I'm Madeline Dubeck here with Matt Dietrich, and we are in the final weeks of the spring session in Springfield, and it's getting a little crazy down there.
Getting a little crazy because they're supposed to be deciding a budget before May 31st, and right now we're about $4 billion apart between what some lawmakers believe the state has to spend and what others believe the state's going to have to spend.
Right.
No one knows exactly what the revenue number which we're working on, whether it's 38 billion, 34 billion. Difficult to run an appropriation committee when that's how it's being run.
Right, and so earlier this week, the House, led by Democratic Speaker Michael Madigan, began passing budget bills based on the assumption that we will have at some point a permanent 5% personal income tax rate in Illinois. So their Republicans are arguing he's deciding how much to spend before he knows how much money he has.
Senator, aren't we putting the cart before the horse? I think your point is well taken. We're not even talking about revenue, yet we're talking about spending. We're going to have about 70 or so spending bills here, and we don't even know what the revenue to pay for these bills is. Don't we have it backwards?
And the Republicans say that that's a violation of the state constitution, which says that appropriations for a fiscal year shall not exceed the funds estimated by the General Assembly to be available during the year.
It just doesn't seem right, doesn't seem sincere, doesn't seem genuine. And why? Because it isn't. We are voting today for an unconstitutional budget, plain and simple.
Speaker Madigan has said pretty plainly he's trying to get people to vote for the budget first to try to put pressure on them to then vote for the tax increase.
Correct. Does your budget, does this bill, 6021, anticipate or presume, better word, does it presume that the temporary tax increase goes permanent?
Correct. If you voted for appropriations and then you come back later and are opposing the tax increase that's going to create the money needed for that, you're going to look like a bit of a hypocrite. And I think that's what the intent is here.
Mm-hmm. And Republicans, of course, are arguing not just the constitutional issue, but if you're voting for a budget that presumes there's a tax increase to pay for it, well, you're in essence voting for a tax increase.
Right, and that's been the argument all week long that we've seen.
So we will continue to see how this all plays out in the weeks ahead, but again, it appears that they're not certain in the House whether they have the votes for this tax increase. We have created a sound-off issue for this on our website. If you click on it, you can send an email to the Speaker, the Senate President, the two Republican leaders in each chamber, the Governor, your individual state rep and state senator, and let them know whether you want a permanent 5% tax increase or not. Click inside the email box and you can revise it as you see fit, but this is a time when you want to take advantage of this opportunity to tell the politicians what you think you'd like to see them do. And this is really a critical time period for that.
Sure is.
All right, that's it for this week. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you on the next edition of Only in Illinois.